Hey cats and kits, Captain Zorik here, and I see nobody's here yet, so I'll be deleting this when I put it on YouTube. But I know you're all probably wondering, what the hell's he doing outside? Well, at least I have a mask, and let me tell you what I'm doing is that I had to go to my storage space because people are ordering copies of my DVD. Yes, this is a cheap plug for Return to Penzic and the one before it, the Penzic War, a video documentary, and its sequel, Return to Penzic. People are available through captainzorik.com/catalog, and so I had to go to the storage space to pick them up, and I got to go find a place to get padded envelopes and then go to the post office and support the post office by giving them some of my money, because the post office does what it does cheaper than a lot of other businesses do, and they need the money. So long as I'm here, my storage space happens to be on West 17th Street, which is not far from 14th Street, and there's a post office on 14th Street. So I am going to be heading up 14th Street, and I thought I might as well share the neighborhood with you as I've been doing. Now, behind me over there, you can see the end of the High Line, and by the High Line is, underneath the High Line in that red building there is the Chelasea Market. The Chelasea Market is closed for business, except for the grocery store that has an entrance on 16th Street. Now, behind me here is, of course, the Hudson River and a nice little park that was obviously built recently. And behind me here is a brand new steel and glass tower. All right. Now, let me tell you a little something about the construction business around here. If the government believes that it's better for the community to have a brand new steel and glass tower than a small building with locally owned businesses and residents in it, they can use eminent domain to take it away. But they have to compensate the residents and the businesses. Now, one of the businesses that was in the site that this building behind me here is now on was called The Vault, a little S&M club. Yes, I went there a couple of times many years ago, back when it was open. The owner of the Vault, as reported in, I want to say, the Village Voice, had a relationship with some legitimate businessmen whose middle names were The, if you know what I'm talking about. And what they did was they took every piece of furniture in the place and secured it to the floors and walls. And they invoiced every single item of furniture, right down to the screws and bolts that were used to secure them to the floors and the walls. Now, if you cannot move something out of a place that's been taken over by eminent domain, you get compensated by the city for it. And so they made out like a bandit, okay? The owner and all of his business partners got a lot of money out of that deal by doing that. Now, this is the meatpacking district because it used to be a district where meat was packed, quite literally. But over the years, as you can see, well, not there because of the glare, there's not much meat packing going on here. Now, over there at the back of that red building, that's where Hogs Heifers used to be, a classic biker bar that I want to say Coyote Ugly stole their business model by having the bar girls dance on the bar. Or is that a chicken and an egg thing? If anybody can correct me on that, which came first, Hogs Heifers or Coyote Ugly, with the girls dancing on the bar, feel free to let me know. But not there anymore. My guess is they were a victim of their success. What happened was it drew people to the neighborhood, especially at night. And so a nightlife culture happened here. And in the front of this building here, well, relative, like right behind me in that corner, was the entrance to a club called Pork. There had a particular cyberpunk fetish night called Click and Drag. And I went there a few times, and there used to be a delicatessen back there, right about there, that had all kinds of cream cheeses and all kinds of bagels, and it was the perfect place for your 4 o'clock in the morning after clubbing and partying snack. It was beautiful, but now it's not there. And as the place kind of got cleaned up and revitalized and gentrified, there were still clubs and bars right here on this strip. But what do I see? I see fashion boutique, retail space for lease, fashion boutique. I think there used to be or might be a furniture boutique. This looks like a real estate office here. Office buildings. There's no nightlife business in the meatpacking district anymore. It went from meatpacking, so nobody would go here because it smelled bad, to biker bar, fetish clubs, to mainstream nightclubs, to fashion boutiques. There's Fjallraven over there. I mean, so there goes the neighborhood. And you know that the clothes in these places ain't cheap, right? So I just wanted to share that with you as I go up 14th Street. In today's edition of Vacant New York with Captain Zorik. I just made that title up. So, I mean, look at this. The Kooples. I remember seeing the posters for this around town, and I always wondered, what the heck was it about? Well, it's about these clothes, and there they are, and you know they ain't cheap. And there's some of the videos, and yet, look at that. It makes it look all artsy and bohemian and stuff, of people who live life on the edge, have more passion than money, kind of like a French New Wave film or something. But really, you gotta like hit the lottery or have a really good job to be able to afford the clothes here. There's the Apple store, that's closed. There's Keel's drugstore. Keel's, that's a New York City success story, I'm sure. I knew it as this old drugstore on East 13th Street and 3rd Avenue that had a whole bunch of classic motorcycles in it. The guy, Keel, since 1851. I don't know the full story about it, but their various cosmetics and other substances that they make there are, their own original recipe and of high quality, but they now have branches all over town, closed as everything else is. I don't know the story behind Mr. Bones, but I'll just keep on moving here. Now over there, uptown a little ways, is the Homestead Steakhouse, which is reduced in size a little bit. I guess they ran out of, I guess they couldn't afford the rent on their full space. And now over here, okay, you got this Italian steakhouse, right? There you go, Italian steakhouse. But you may notice how the exterior decor doesn't exactly look like an Italian steakhouse. Doesn't look Italian at all, in fact. That's because it's not. That was probably put up back when the business there was the Village Idiot, which was actually kind of a cool bar. It was large, it had open mics, it had live bands, it had karaoke, it had comedy. And when I was in a little play called White Eyebrow and Destruction of Shaolin, we went there for our closing party, cast party. That was an awesome night, but it's not there anymore. Gainsport Market there, that's one of your deluxe supermarkets there. So while I walk up the street, let's just see who's checked in here. Hey Anthony, how are you? Jay, death by gentrification, that's right. Hello Carol, hello Joe, hello Paul, hello Anthony, hello Michael. Thank you for joining me here for this little walk for this week's edition of Vacant New York with Captain Zorik here. And basically, as we walk through some parts of New York that I have had some sort of relationship with, and am now seeing completely differently because they're empty. And this, however, okay, I've never been in this church, but it is actually quite a spectacular frontage there. And it looks like Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay, we're coming up on 8th Avenue. Now, 8th Avenue and 14th Street is an interesting intersection because it's right where, it's pretty much the last spot in which the New York City grid system works. Because just when you're headed downtown on the west side, because just below it, everything goes screwy, because we're in the West Village. And for some reason, Con Edison is in the Chelasea Village Medical Building. Huh. Okay, people going into the Chelasea Village Medical Building there for some reason. We all know the reasons. But moving right along. So, two of the corners on this intersection of 14th Street and 8th Avenue obviously were banks. That imposing marble facade and everything. And actually, look up at the tower of that building. Isn't that neat? I love multi-leveled setback tops. It's like a Ghostbusters thing or something. All right. But now, time passed and things change. And not all banks are able to keep their same branches in their same buildings. So you've got these big, imposing buildings that are not banks anymore. Let's get over to this island here. And there, that one, can't make out the original sign, but there is a clock on the side of it, and that's now a CVS. Okay, there's a beehive on top of the clock. What bank used a beehive for its logo or symbol? Okay, and this one here, yep, it looks like they have sandblasted the name off of this one too. Can you see that? Is the glare too rough? All right, but now it is something called the Museum of Illusions. Oh, here's the irony. There are signs saying that the Museum of Illusions is now open, are contradicted by the close-up signs saying that it is closed until further notice. Okay, and you really can't see a doggone thing in there, can you? All right, let's see. Well, I can't see anything in there. So, but you see, oh, there used to be an awesome blues bar right here that, again, probably a victim of its success. Drew people to the neighborhood, rents went up, and they couldn't afford to be here anymore. Then it was an upscale bar, and then a nightclub, and now it's a Think Coffee. But now you can see how the streets just start hitting you at different angles. Right here, just south of 14th Street and 8th Avenue. So, the Thingsworth, and there used to be a deli right there. A lot of significant things happened in a few short years of my life in that particular deli. I won't go into it now. Maybe I'll write it in my memoirs sometime. But I'm not going to drag this out much longer because this is kind of a lot of street to be walking on here, and I got things to do. So, I'll just give you a quick rundown of some of the highlights of what do you call it, 14th Street for yours truly with regards to that. There used to be a lot of video shops around here. Since nobody buys DVDs anymore, they all fell apart. But the interesting thing is, a lot of them said all kinds of videos. All kinds of videos is a euphemism. It means we're not really a porn shop, but we got that too. Because a bunch of years ago, I think it was during the Giuliani era, when they were cleaning up 42nd Street, they passed a law. You could not sell adult-oriented material as the dominant business in your store if you were within 500 feet of a residence, a school, a church, or another business such. And so all these businesses that had been selling porno videos and stuff, oh, this was a pretty cool bar. I went to it once, and now it's not there anymore. I hate it when that happens. Anywho. So all these businesses filled up, they did the math, made the floor plans so that the appropriate percentage of the floor was not adult-oriented stuff. It was luggage or it was books, and later it just came to be all kinds of videos. I mentioned this when I was at 42nd Street a couple weeks ago, and I got a lot of bizarre, oddball, rare, and unique, not adult videos at these places. Now, Rogers Time Machine Comics used to be located at 14th Street and 6th Avenue on the corner. They moved to a larger space where they had a much more organized setup, and that space is now a place called Guitar Tech over with that yellow awning there. The place before had been like a law office for decades and decades, and it was kind of a shame that they chipped all the, they scraped all the hand-painted the hand-painted letters off of the window, but they did that. And so now, however, Rogers Time Machine is located on 7th Avenue. Is it 6th or 7th Avenue? 6th Avenue, I want to say. Between 8th and 9th Street in a little downstairs place. And they're making, and he says he gets a lot more business from passersby there and is making a lot more money even though the place is smaller. There's Guitar Tech now. Okay, well, it's good to know that there is a guitar store that is not Guitar Center, so that I can try shopping there, because frankly, Guitar Center, which is just up the street a ways, their dominance of the music shop industry in music shop market in New York City is has made it difficult to get things that I want. But like harmonicas, you can't. And holy shit, look at this, folks. Chicago. Albums here. What's this? Top hits. Pop hits. The Monkees headquarters. What do we got down here? Motown. Funky Kingston. Toots and the Mayalls. What's this? Janice Ian, Between the Lines. Holy shit. Herbie Hancock. RCA Victor. More of the Monkees. What a collection of records here. Okay, so if anybody wants a instant record collection, head down to, where the hell am I? 7th Avenue and 14th Street. Okay, so... Okay, Flannery's Bar and the Donut Pub, they've been there for a very long time, as long as I can remember, in fact. This convenience store was not, I'm pretty sure. Now, 7th Avenue, the 7th Avenue and 6th Avenue corners, I keep on getting confused because there's so many similarities there. But check out this, check out what's above this door here. Look at that statue, look at those statues. You got, okay, so obviously there's some kind of, this is, the sign outside says A.J. Clark Real Estate Group, but look at the front door, look at the statuary, the carvings, the cartouches around the door there. Now, look up, and you got these lion-like gargoyles on this balcony, and then above that, some sort of Greco-Roman goddess. I'm going to guess Athena because of the helmet and the shield and the sword. Let's see if you can get a better look at it. Now the question is, what the hell is that doing there? Why is that there? And why does it say ear or leer? There it is. Huh. The address is 200 West 14th Street. So if anybody can do a little research, throw it up on the comments here so that you can tell me what it's about. Oh boy, look at this here. Look at the frontage on that building here. You don't see them making buildings with this kind of decoration anymore. Why is that? Too expensive, probably. Also, you can make much more efficient buildings out of steel and glass. And now look at how empty 7th Avenue is. There you go. So now there used to be a bunch of buildings that aren't here anymore. They frequently had things like video shops, luggage stores, that sort of thing there. And maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those buildings were actually theaters of some sort. You can tell by the frontage what used to be there. And now that they're gone, I can't tell you what it looks like it used to be. For frack's sake, I wish I'd taken pictures of it. See, but that's the thing about New York. New York is constantly in a state of change. Yeah, we have landmarks. Yeah, we have traditions, but everybody thinks that they can make more money doing something else. And so whatever's making not enough money has to go. All right, now we're coming up on some fantastic graffiti on the side of that alleyway there. And there's 14th Street YMCA over here and the Salvation Army over here. Okay, so they're doing their things here, and we're coming up on 6th Avenue where Rogers Comics used to be, Rogers Time Machine Comics used to be. Since I've gotten this far, I want to just show you the corner of the building if it's still there, because it was another nifty old building. There's so many nifty old buildings in New York. It's like you could just walk down a random street and say, what's that doing there? Anthony says, used to be a DVD store in 14th Street, but I think that, oh yeah, lots of them. Rogers Time Machine website seems to be down. I'll have to check that out, Jay. I haven't been to the store in years. Well, not years, but the better part of a year, I'm sure. I'm sure it's closed right now because of the COVID-19 thing, as all other comic book shops are. Yep, here's a DVD store that's not there anymore. This building's probably coming down. Let's see. Yeah, this medical arts building, storefront, that used to be Entertainment Outlet, which used to be across the street in the space now occupied by the Good Stuff Diner and Store for Rent. They were where you'd get all your discount used videos, VHS, DVD, also music, CDs and stuff. Got a lot of good stuff there. Oh yeah, also at Entertainment Outlet, they had several stores around town. They always had like one wall of VHS tapes, and among them was Caligula and the sequel Caligula 2, or also known as Messalina, Empress of Love, and Messalina, Messalina. Now, this was not the infamous Caligula with Peter O'Toole and Roddy McDowell, paid for by Guccione and whatever. This was some other cheaply made Italian sword and sandal drama about the infamous emperor. And I got it, I watched it, no big deal. And then I saw, I also picked up Caligula 2. It had nothing to do with the previous Caligula, except it said so in the credits that they used the same sets without permission. And it was a sex comedy about Emperor Claudius and his wife Messalina, with a running joke about a fella who came to town to get laid, going to all these different places to try to get laid, winds up in the brothel that Messalina is moonlighting at. The other running joke is that, as those of you who saw I, Claudius might recall, the doctor told Claudius I want you to release gas. I do not matter from which end, just release it as often as possible. Now, I, Claudius, said nothing about it, then said nothing else about that particular detail. But in Messalina, Empress of Love, aka Caligula II, a running joke was that nobody really wanted the honor of being in the Emperor's Guard, assigned to the position right behind the Emperor. Okay, so here's the building, and that Roger's time machine used to be in. And it's my imagination, or is it shorter now? But you can see that nifty turret in the corner. There you go. And the remains of some kind of mosaic over here. Check this out. Yeah, I wonder what that used to be all about. All right, so, and now there's a gourmet pizza shop here. Yeah, that was it. This was the gourmet pizza, and back on 7th Avenue was the $1 a slice pizza. That's funny. This sushi bar's been here for a while, but the rest of this, oh, it's all changed up a little bit. But again, lots of stuff closed because of the crisis. And this whole building has come down. Now, this is kind of sad because in that building was a big martial arts space. I remember visiting a capoeira class back in the mid-90s. And I think that Hunch Enrico Guy might have... Hunch Enrico Guy still has his studio somewhere up here. Hunch Enrico Guy was the original Black Samurai. And yeah, so I wonder what happened to that capoeira class and all those martial artists that used to use that 3 or 4-story building that's not there anymore. Time passes, things change. Okay, there's Urban Outfitters. They've been there for a while. They're one of the early gentrifiers. And so as we keep on walking,